Hey, it's Zeke Freak and Kevin, the Bakagaijin boys. We're back again. We heard through the grapevine last time people liked that we talked about 100 Line in deeply analytical, non-insane ways. So we thought we'd do that again.
Yes, apparently there is a market for people to talk normally about these games. But thank you for appreciating our input.
Yeah, or at least in palatably freaky ways. You know what I mean?
Yes,
you know
yes.
what I'm saying?
Apparently people actually quite liked our dateability ranking and our broader 100-line discussion. So we're back at it again.
Yeah, and we like talking about these games, so we will continue to do that. But today is not a day for positivity. We got that out of our system. Also, if we want to glaze 100 Line, we'd do that every day anyway.
Yeah, we literally have another video for that.
It was mixed.
It was mixed.
Mostly positive. It was a broad general discussion. But enough of the positivity!
Yes, enough.
Today is the day.
Enough of Tukio's rights. Let's talk about Tukio's wrongs.
Yes. Enough of the positivity. Today is the day to be negative out of love. Constructive criticism. The roast of the 100 Line. The hour of critique is nigh. This is very similar to back when Amino was a thing that existed, unfortunately, for the human race. I did a blog series called V3's Actual Flaws. And at the time, that was an effort by me to sort of like avoid what I saw as like the dumb criticisms and get to like the stuff that like actually bothered me about it, or like I thought could have been better. So this is now granted, 100 Line fans are way more fucking even-handed with their criticism.
Thank God.
Significantly. I love you guys because I know you can read. Sometimes you choose not to, but I know you can. Yeah. That's an improvement.
Yeah, at the very least, we understand that you can read, and you have read. Mm-hmm. It's just occasionally we know you prefer to ignore things for your own headcanon, which, honestly, that's that's preferable to the actual illiteracy of Danganronpa fans sometimes. Like, holy fucking shit.
Right.
Jesus Christ, if I have to hear one more fucking person get on a soapbox about Chihiro and DR1, I'm going to rope.
I'm too old for DR1 non-traverses, honestly. It's been too long. You're arguing about shit from like fucking 3 presidencies ago. I don't care. I genuinely don't. Yeah. No, we are liking the 100 Line fandom. You guys can actually read, which is nice.
Yay.
So in that spirit, we wanted to talk about things that bothered us about the game, or things we think could have been done better, or things that could be improved in the future. One reason that fucking critiquing this game is particularly valuable is because unlike past Kodaka projects that were one and dones, they plan to update this game for a long time, apparently. So some of our critiques might actually be actionable, which is exciting.
Yes, the big difference is that there's only so much that can be done after the fact when a game is just a one and done thing like Danganronpa. Like, that's just the game. That's just how it exists. Compared to something like the 100 Line, which is planned to have, like, additional routes and DLC and expansions and shit, like, there are things that we could say that people from Tokyo, they're not going to watch this.
Well, yeah, obviously. But, like, you know, it trickles down. Like, if they're broad sentiments, they could trickle in, right?
Yeah. And
I think it's a little bit more useful in this case.
Yeah, so it's nice to add our voices. It's nice to add our voices to the conversation so that we can like kind of just express our ideas about what could be improved, what went wrong, and what could be like done differently in future. And you know what? Maybe you'll agree with us, and you'll spread our opinions around, and that'll be a whole thing. Right.
Like, we aspire to be the kind of YouTubers that get parroted ad nauseum. Don't even like internalize it and like rationalize it as your own opinion. Just like regurgitate what we say, because we're right.
Please do. Yes.
Yeah, we welcome that.
My ego.
Don't do that for other guys, though. Don't do that for other guys, though, because I hate when that happens. But if it happens because I originated it, then it's good. Because my idea's good. Other YouTubers' ideas bad.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, big disclaimer. If it wasn't obvious already, we fucking love this game. So, we're gonna probably be more negative than not in this video for obvious reasons. do not let that take away from the fact that we love this game and we critique it out of love.
Yes.
If you want to hear us sing its praises, watch our discussion video. That was a lot more even-handed. This is the hour to be critical.
Yeah, like this was literally our favorite thing of last year. So
it's true. It beats Silk Song in my media thread.
Which is
I didn't think anything
wild.
could do that.
That's insane.
Yeah, I didn't think anything was going to do that.
The pure, just unbridled, just audacity of this game just edged it out.
Yeah, like I like Silk Song better as a thing I can press buttons to, but like as a mind virus that won't leave, 100 Line is very special.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
think I told Kevin my fucking my post V3 obsession was not this bad. It was bad. It wasn't this bad.
Oh no, it absolutely was not. I was there for your post V3 obsession. I was in your post V3 obsession era.
Yeah.
This is a different level.
Yeah. Anyway, with all that preamble out of the way, let's get negative. And
right.
I want to start with what I think is probably. I mean, there's a couple of I love this game, but it has some kind of, I think. I'm going to use the word critical in that they're wide-reaching and have big ramifications. Not critical as in they are actively detrimental to my enjoyment, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, I want to start with some of the big-ticket items. My first complaint is the structure of the game and how overly centralized it is around second scenario.
Yes. The issue inherently with the... Now, there is still a lot you can do to expand forward from second scenario. Like, there are things that you could do to, create new branching off points from there. The problem is, there's only so much of that you can do before you just run out of things to do with that.
Well, my main thing is more not what they could do, but what they did. Because we've speculated before, and I will continue to speculate. Like there's more early branch points they could use to build relatively clean slates out of.
Yeah,
that's possible. What they did for the base game, as it exists right now, is very narrow, and it runs contrary to the modus operandi of being like the ultimate narrative adventure game, right? If you asked me how I would structure a game like this, I would say you want to go wide at the base and then expand outward like a bush. But instead, this game is structured more like a tree that goes up a long ways and then there's a bunch of branches.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some early branches, but you know what I'm talking about. It's more vertical than horizontal, and this results in a lot of awkward problems. Probably the thing we keep harping on the most about is Darumi dying in day 9, which the way the branching works in this game is nearly unavoidable. She is dead for I think 16 or 17 of the routes.
Yes,
just based on that one choice alone.
Yes, she is not in most of this game.
Yes.
And mind you,
we've done the calculations. She's in about 30% of the game, and she's not exactly relevant in all that 30% either.
Yeah, the only routes she's alive in are Route 0, the first how many days of second scenario, routes.
9,
the first 9 days. 9, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Why does she die on day 9? God damn it!
Right. Well, the reason this happened is because the way they did this is that Kodaka wrote Route 0 and then second scenario as one complete thing, and then he gave it to the team and said make fanfics based on this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And because of that, I don't know if it's I don't ordain to know what exactly he was thinking when he made some of the choices in second scenario that he did. I think even having mainline deaths throughout second scenario was a weird decision. It works for the story he's telling. It's weird in the context of making a branching narrative game, because you would assume those things would be the branching points, and sometimes they are, but most of those branching points only lead to a single offshoot.
Yeah.
Which is part of my problem and why I say it's over-centralized, is that for the most part, I mentally frame the game in terms of second scenario offshoots and things that are not second scenario offshoots. Darmy dying is, I think, the point where I solidly say you are on second scenario. You are like en route to second scenario, and everything from there is an offshoot.
Yeah.
Everything before that on the timeline branching is significantly different enough, diverges enough from second scenario to kind of be its own thing.
Yeah, it's very, like, everything before that is very, like, it's kind of a nebulous area where there isn't a whole lot of, like, there aren't a whole lot of, like, hard cutoffs in, like, potentiality from that point, from, like, day 9 and prior. The second you get to day 9 and have the decision of whether or not to return to Last Defense Academy, and by effect save Darmy, that's at the point where it diverges from just, you know, whatever offshoots, and then just offshoots of second scenario.
Yeah, I think that's generally how I like to think about it. I think once you stay to save second to Last Defense Academy, I think you are solidly down the second scenario path, and every route from there is an offshoot of that.
Yeah.
Now, people who've done the game will know that the latter is a lot more than the former. There is a lot of content before there, but like developmentally, they definitely made more second scenario offshoots than non-second scenario offshoots. In that framing. But because of that, those routes are locked into choices that were made to benefit second scenario's story. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like, there's definitely potential there, obviously. But, like, the problem is, in terms of creating a sprawling, interconnected web of narrative, it's not... Linear is the wrong word, but, like, it's like almost sequential. Yeah. You almost, like, you go down second scenario path, and then you take your detour, and then you can either just go back to second scenario. Well, that's really kind of... Once you explore all the endings down that path, you just go back to second scenario.
Yeah.
Right. There's only one instance in these second scenario offshoots where you make a decision that doesn't immediately go to a different route. And that's the small gap of time between choosing to kill Ava and starting either Box of Blessings or Boxing of Calamity, which is only a few days long.
Yeah.
That's the only time that happens. Every other choice results in a direct offshoot. So the problems are kind of multiplicative in that effect. Much has been made of the fact that a lot of routes in this game can't make use of Darumi or Kyoshka, and the later ones even of Kurara, because they're dead in second scenario before they branch off. But I think the even larger issue is the fact that these branches are kind of singular off ramps from second scenario, instead of branching into more nebulous territory that could then further sub-branch into different routes. Again, it only does that the one time, and it's kind of limited. Also, one of those branches leads to Box of Blessings, so it sucks.
Holy shit! Fucking Box of Blessings is. We'll get to that.
I don't even know if we have another rant in us, but we will try.
Oh god.
Yeah. Admittedly, the kill Ato part of the chart actually does this a little bit better. Once you make the decision to kill Ato, there's a couple of decisions. There's some nebulous territory before you're actually on a route. Now, granted, there's not that many routes. There's only 4 routes that split from killing Ato, so it's not super expansive or anything. But it is more akin to what I would have thought a system like this would be like. And what I assume future DLC content will probably be more like, is more wide branching and then further subdividing into routes, rather than just having this one overly centralized pillar of the experience that has these like one and done off ramps.
Yeah.
Right. And like planning wise, maybe they didn't think about it that way, because maybe their thinking was more in terms of endings than routes. And if you're thinking about it from that perspective, like sort of backwards like that, I guess it does kind of make a certain amount of sense. It makes the tree look more crazy than it is. But in actuality, that's not really how it plays out. I think you and I would agree that for the most part, the way I told you to play it, and the way that a lot of people end up playing it, is that you hit every single alternate or quote-unquote bad ending along the path toward the route's final. Most routes in this game follow a formula where they either culminate in a binary, well, they're all choices are binary in this game, but you know what I mean. It culminates in a one or other choice. You have routes like Cult of Takumi, for example, is a good one, where like there's no choices in the route itself until you get to the very end, and then you choose the ending.
Yeah.
Between like 2 options, right? And then you have routes with 4 endings, and what usually result, like Retstom's a good example of that, where what'll happen is there will be 2 very obvious bad endings somewhere along the chain, and then it'll end with another branch to like pick your ending from there. And then the other type of route are ones with 8 endings, and what they tend to do structurally is that they will have sub branches. They'll have like either two sub branches with 4 endings or 4 sub branches with 2 endings, and it works in a similar fashion.
Yeah, that's
organizationally this was
that's stuff like Box of Blessings or Slasher.
Yeah. Yes. Those are oddly comparable. Yes.
Completely different in terms of quality, but comparable in terms of structure.
Right. Box of Blessings has 4 sub-routes that have 2 endings apiece, and then Slasher is the opposite. It has 2 sub-routes that have 4 endings apiece.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, especially for the Geark stuff, getting all the endings of a route is part of the intended experience of experiencing the story of that route.
Yeah.
Like the entire Geark, the entire Uchikoshi portion of the game, flat out doesn't make a lot of sense unless you get a certain amount of bad endings.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like imagine you don't get the SF ending where you go back to the Slasher timeline and then Slasher Takumi kills SF Takumi and then replaces him. The ending of the Nozomi branch of Slasher suddenly makes no fucking sense.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
That bad ending.
Yes. Yeah. Which is another thing that is a major issue, is that I think this game needed more railroading in terms of just...
Right. That's a related problem as well, yeah.
Yeah, a related problem, and this is one that we've talked about privately, not really...
We're going to jump around topics a lot, by the way. This game is a fucking mind virus.
Yeah, but, like, especially with the Geark, Uchikoshi's whole fucking half of the game, there is a major problem of... Uchikoshi introduces story locks and shit because he can't help himself. But I feel like there aren't enough story locks that railroad you onto the correct paths so that you fully understand a particular narrative going into its conclusion. Slasher is one of the biggest casualties of this, because, like Zeke said, half of that route doesn't make sense unless you've played the other half first.
Right. Okay, so with Slasher, it's multiplicative, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say the word so many fucking times. But with Slasher, so many people inadvertently ruin Slasher for themselves. And this, by the way, I've been accused of this before. This is not me saying you're going to suddenly love Slasher if you play it in the quote-unquote correct way that I'm about to lay out for you. You can have your own opinion. That's fine. What I'm saying is that it's very likely that you will make the experience worse for yourself by playing it suboptimally.
Yes.
Right. Slasher relies on a lot of hidden assumptions about the player's experience up to that point. If you've played, like, Killing Game before you played Slasher, some of the tension is lost to knowing that the leap suits can be damaged by just ordinary weapons. Right? Yeah. If you play Box of Calamity before Slasher, the entire mystery of the Gi and what the hell is even happening is kind of lost on you because you've already had that 20-minute Shion lore dump.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's stuff like, again, the Nozomi branch in Slasher makes no sense once you know that Takumi is the killer, unless you've played the SF bad ending where SF Takumi goes back and gets replaced, and that's the corpse she sees, right? Unless you've done that whole thing feels like a complete, like, non-canon, non-sequitur.
Yeah.
They thought about all this. It all makes sense. It all connects, but you have to, like, do every, like, bad ending along the path to, like, understand. And to some extent, that's a good thing, because it encourages, like, narrative exploration, right? They've talked about this game. Kodaka once used the phrase the open world of narrative adventure games, which sounds fucking stupid, but I know what he means.
Yeah, like,
right?
when you really get down to it, what he means is it's a game that is built around player choice and your decisions of how to traverse to a particular ending of your choosing. It's just kind of, it is a free roaming of a, narrative branching structure.
It should be.
Yeah. We've
laid out some reasons why that ambition has not quite been met yet.
It hasn't quite coalesced.
Right. And the other issue is that Kodaka and Uchikoshi kind of went into this with different mindsets. Right.
Yeah.
As we were saying, Uchikoshi put in story locks and made a bunch of made routes that interconnect and intersect with each other in this time loop plotline. Right. And that's really cool. The issue is that because the game doesn't do enough to curate you, down the right paths, it's very easy to... Confusion is one thing, right? You can, like, I think most players of this type of game can deal with a little bit of confusion.
Yeah.
It's easy for them to rationalize it and be like, okay, well, I need to do another ending or play a different route, and this will contextualize what I just saw.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
There's a difference between confusion and just outright spoiling details, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And the issue we have with Uchikoshi's part of the game is that the locks that are there are not enough to prevent spoiling other routes for yourself, or they don't require the context they should require to experience the narrative that the lock would progress.
Yeah.
And I think this can be demonstrated by this problem can be demonstrated by probably the funniest fucking thing about the way the lock system in this game works, which is that getting the Gaku exorcism ending is required to progress through SF. Because for no other reason than because they included the CG of them fucking doing the exorcism in the fucking flashback of scenes from other timelines Takumi gets when he awakens, right?
Yeah.
That is required, but the entirety of the killing game route is optional, despite it being massively interwoven with SF's plot and SF spoiling the ever-loving fuck out of it.
Yes. Yes.
For some reason, it's completely optional.
Yeah, so, like,
I don't understand the thought process there.
If you do too much of the SF, we'll call it the SF line for simplicity's sake. If you do too much of the SF line before doing killing game or slasher, you effectively spoil those routes for yourself. Like, a lot of the tension, a lot of the drama, a lot of the, like, intricacies of those stories, a lot of that is removed because it's just been spoiled for you.
Yeah, I think the problem is even more foundational than that. I think the fact that the second choice you can make in this game, if you choose to spare Ato, is to hide your time travel secret, is ridiculous. Because it will literally go down this entire separate route, this entire separate path that kind of already mentally assumes you've played some parts of the game already.
Yeah.
And then literally ends with the cliffhanger of Hiroko telling you that there's a time loop. And then lock. And yes, that's intrigue building. But, like, if you're coming fresh off a route scenario, it's like, what a fucking swerve that was.
Yeah,
You're not ready for that.
It's an immediate left turn, and you're just basically left wondering, what the fuck did I just do?
Yeah. It's weird that choice is so early. Like as much as we bemoan the structure of this game railroading you down second scenario and centralizing around that is kind of the intended experience. Mm-hmm. To a certain extent, or at least it should be, right? Because, like, I think, like, the early game is so filled with traps, right? I think that choosing to kill Ato or choosing to reveal your time travel secret is just opening a fucking just throwing yourself down a rabbit hole that you're not quite ready for as a player.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the game, the way that it's written, in some cases, it almost incentivizes you to make that decision because Route Zero makes Ato very easily hateable.
Yes, so many people immediately beeline to killing Ato, understandably so, and then they end up in this entirely other half of the game with these other unrelated, like, plot lines that are not a direct follow-up to Route Zero, and they're just like, well, that was cool. Okay. Sometimes they run down killing game and they go, well, that was awesome, but
what does this have to do with anything?
Ever gonna... Yeah, what does this have to do with anything? Or they end up with fish heads and they go, what the fuck did I just do?
Oh, right, comedy is down there too.
Yeah. Right?
I forgot comedy is down that line too.
I have seen this from multiple people who got the fucking Mother Ocean ending as their first ending.
Oh, God.
That doesn't feel like it should be allowed. And, like, I understand this is a matter of philosophy, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, to some extent, the ability to, like, freely explore narrative causality is part of the appeal of the game. I understand that. But Uchikoshi also recognized it was important enough to put locks in the first place. So if he was gonna put in story locks, why did he do such a shit job of it? Right.
It's kind of being... It feels like, in that respect, the game is caught in between two completely different, like... what's the term I'm looking for? It's
visions?
Schools of thought in terms of, like...
Methodologies.
That's the word. It's caught between two completely different methodologies of allowing the player to traverse the narrative.
Right. Kadaka is very much...
Thank you, and thank you. You're so much smarter than me.
Yeah, everyone knows it, and they say that a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, especially when you're not around.
Boy.
No, Kadaka's school of thought about this is basically what he says, the open world of narrative adventure games, right? He wants you to explore and go down a path and find the ending that fits right with you, right? Yep. That's kind of his idea. Whereas Uchikoshi's doing his normal thing of interconnecting timelines and routes and sort of leading you down a path that everything intersects and interconnects and leads you to not necessarily a golden ending. That's a slur in the 100-line house, but like to like some kind of payoff for that adventure, right? That's kind of what his part of the game is like. And like, on the one hand, it's cool that the game is big and expansive and daring enough to have these conflicting methodologies within it. On the other hand, those methodologies are still conflicting.
Yeah.
Right? Which has tripped up many new players into not really understanding the experience they're even a part of. Because depending on their choices and depending on how they hop around the flowchart, they could be experiencing two entirely different mentalities in terms to how the game is designed and structured and how information is conveyed to them.
Yeah, which can be incredibly confusing for your average player. And that's going
right.
to, and it's going to negatively affect their opinion of like, I've literally seen people put Slasher on the same level as Box of Blessings because of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, from our perspective, having experienced it quote unquote the right way, is fucking insane to us.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, even doing it wrong, I would consider that comparison insane, even if I did it completely wrong. But like, I think it doesn't help that you can experience it so suboptimally.
Yeah, because you can literally experience it so suboptimally that it feels like a complete waste of your time.
A waste of your time, and also just a confusing mess of shit happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas it feels very planned and coherent and lines up with a lot of other things if you do it the way it was supposed to. Slasher becomes incredibly rewarding route in hindsight once you play the routes that connect to it and you have a better understanding of what was going on.
Yeah,
it's super rewarding, but like the fact that you can do all of that completely out of order is nuts.
Just absolutely insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think one flaw of the game is that it could have used a little bit more curation. But it's also a tricky subject because, like we said, a lot of this comes from the early choices being effectively traps, right? Like, the curation we're asking for is effectively just railroading you down second scenario to a certain degree, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't even think you should do Retsnom before you let Darumi die. I think you need to experience some routes where she's dead from that decision before you actually do Retsnom.
Yeah.
I think Retsnom is immensely benefited. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can like experience the game like kind of without her for a little bit, and then you understand like, and then you go back and you like actually experience the route where she like, gets all of her focus.
There's obviously like emotional catharsis to that. The choice feels weightier knowing the consequence of not making it, right?
Yeah.
It's not even just about Darumi though. It's also like stuff like Nozomi hating Takumi's guts doesn't hit the same unless you've seen how it goes otherwise, right? I guess you kind of have it on Zero, but like it's a different thing, right? So like I've made my route order and I post it around sometimes and it makes sense to me, but the base game is in a really awkward space where like I would love to tell people to just make whatever choices and just like see where your choices lead you and to like experience whatever story you've crafted for yourself that way. I would love to be able to tell people you can play this game that way. I can't. It's not designed for that. Maybe one day, but not now.
Yeah, not at this current juncture. Yeah. Like the structure just doesn't. The way that a lot of these routes are written and how they expect them to be experienced does not make that conducive.
Yeah. And note for a second, we're not even talking about like the quality of the routes or the quality of the content. Like we're talking about good stuff for the most part. It's just the way it's structured can result in a play experience that is weird. Unless you have someone literally telling you, don't kill Ato yet. Just don't.
Just hand on the shoulder, hold up, let him cook.
Please. Spare Ato. Just tell your time travel secret. Trust me, you're gonna have a better experience if you don't go down these rabbit holes right off the bat.
Yeah.
The time travel thing in particular is like such a fucking because it only leads to romance and SF. Like if there were like a lot more routes that decision led to, I could be like, okay, like if SF was just harder to find, that would be one thing. But the fact that just 2 choices land you on that is insane.
It's wild.
It's a trap. It's a trap. And like it's weird.
Why the fuck did you do that, Uchikoshi? God damn you.
Yeah, it's something that irks me about the game as it currently exists, is that like and this is a recurring problem, and it's both a structural problem and it's also kind of a character problem. It's that this game is very lopsided, like where the focus developmentally and like where the content is and like how you should interact with it is very lopsided.
Yes, that is another major issue, is that there is so much inequality in terms of both narrative and character focus. Character focus is probably the one that a lot of people are able to most easily recognize, because there are some characters, like, Darmy, the Tsukumo twins, Kyoshika to an extent.
Well, they actually have the opposite. They have the opposite problems. Is the thing. The twins are almost always around.
Yeah.
They're just rarely focused on.
Yeah.
And when they are, it tends to be cut short because the game was rushed. Whereas Darby has the opposite problem, where she has really great exploration when she's around and when the game chooses to focus on her. If not, she's just not in the game at all.
Yeah.
Right. Those are like the extremes.
But then you get shit like my darling Tsubasa. As much as I love her, Jesus Christ, why does she have like fucking 3 focal routes?
Yeah, and whenever she dies, it's always like right at the end of a fucking route. She'll make it like all the way to the end of Slasher, or like all the way up to the end of Box of Calamity or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And a lot of that comes down from the fact that the writers of this game weren't really talking to each other.
Yeah.
In terms now like the details were kept straight and like organized by Uchikoshi, and I'm sure Uchikoshi told them what they could or couldn't do, what would break, causality or like ontology or whatever. Like that stuff is reasonably well handled outside of a couple of weird cases, right? Some minor details are fudged here and there.
Yeah. How
does the Revive-O-Matic work? But like, generally that stuff is kept pretty straight. The problem is that they didn't talk to each other in terms of like what was already in the game or not.
Yeah.
This is how you get shit like Tsubasa having 2 entirely separate romance arcs, because those writers just didn't talk to each other. They didn't realize they were doing that. Honestly, this is how you get the twins not having a true focal route, because all of the writers just assumed that someone else would handle it, and nobody did.
Yeah, like Konaka literally sets up so much for the twins to potentially do in their own separate routes, but no one touches it because they're just like, oh, someone else will do it. No one did, and yet the reason why Tsubasa gets so many routes is because she's too useful. She's one of the most competent members of the team, and her abilities with technology and building shit and that kind of thing. Like her status as being the local fix-it girl makes her far too useful to actually not use her.
It gets to a point. There's 2 problems. It gets to a point where, one, she is put in positions where she does shit that is literally outside of her field.
Tsubasa hacked the mainframe.
Tsubasa, hack the mainframe. You got it, boss. What are we doing? No, stop.
Being a mechanic does not...
She fixes cars, right? She's not a hacker. Right. But it also gets to the point where she tramples on like Kurata's role, because Kurata can technically do a lot of the same things as her. It's more like weapon oriented, like weapon and trap oriented. But like there's things that they have Tsubasa do where I'm like, why isn't Kurata doing this? She's literally not even dead in this route. Why isn't she taking care of this?
Yeah, there's literally one.
But let me finish. It goes the other way around too, because when Kurata's dead, suddenly Nozomi can just build surface to air missiles.
I love how I fucking pointed that out while we were playing. It's like, what? It's like, honey, you have known Kurata for all of 5 fucking days. How the fuck do you already know how to build surface-to-air missiles?
Come up in like 5 days.
How fast did she teach this to you? Don't worry.
It's a range.
All that they say whenever this happens is just like something being like, "Don't worry, Kurata taught me how to do this." It's like in less than a week.
Well, it varies because like some of the later second scenario routes, it's like okay, fine, they knew each other for like fucking 40 days or whatever. Okay, sure. You know, between friends, the topic of surface-to-air missiles sometimes comes up naturally, right? In the rigorous construction thereof. But then you get the cases like I think it's Killing Game where like Kurata dies on like day 25 or something, and it's like there might even be an earlier case.
There are a couple of earlier cases, yeah.
Yeah, there's at least one case where like they knew each other for like a comically short amount of time, and it's like, when did this come up? No. It would be more believable if Tsubasa was doing this.
Right? Yeah, because at the very least, again, Tsubasa is a mechanic. She has, and in all these cases, Tsubasa is on the team, right? Because she's often she's often part of the away team that goes out and goes to the relay station.
Half and half, yeah.
So like Tsubasa could fucking do this shit goddamn easily.
Right. I think the thought process is just, well, Nozomi is closer to Kurata, so this makes more sense. And like, well, maybe in a they talked about it kind of way, but in a can do it kind of way, it's weird.
It's very weird, yeah.
Like the grander point of that is just to say it's weird that Tsubasa can eclipse Kurata's role, but Nozomi can also eclipse Kurata's role. Like, it's weird.
She's the medic.
Yeah, she knows like chemistry and like medical science and shit. Like, why is she building surface-to-air missiles?
Yeah.
I'm not saying she's not smart enough to figure it out. I'm just saying this is a weird choice creatively.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a weird pivot.
Right, like when she helps Yugamu develop poison, it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right. When she's building surface-to-air missiles, I have to wonder what went wrong. And part of it is just like part of it is a resource thing, right? They weren't allowed to create like battles that required wholly original assets or like shake things up too much, which is another complaint about the game, is that the battles repeat a lot.
Yes.
A lot. Which is why they always have to go through the fucking rigmarole of it's Quenzle, and they have to like, how are we going to touch him? He's all the way up there. I will build a surface-to-air missile and knock him down to the ground, and they have to do that almost every time because like that's just the assets that were made, and also ontologically, there's no reason for a different commander to be there. So, right. So like it's like a two-pronged issue in that regard. That brings us into the greater issue with the game's loop. Which is the fact that, and some people might not see this as a problem, and that's fine. You know, I have days where I don't consider it a problem. This game turns into a pure visual novel about 50 hours in.
It does, yes. And like, again, that's not a problem for us personally. We like visual novels.
No, I can appreciate it on that. Yeah, I can appreciate it on that level. It's just kind of a shame that so much effort was put into the core gameplay loop, which in Route Zero and like early second scenario is like really good. There's a gameplay loop of story progression, free time, exploration, combat, and like gathering materials and like giving gifts and getting bond events and like fucking leveling up, getting materials so you can level up your moves and like unlock new traps and shit and like bring them into combat, and like while the combat is still like fresh and like is presenting you with new challenges. That loop is really good. Unfortunately, it is completely eclipsed by the sheer scope of narrative content in this game.
Yes. And like, as a related note, one thing that I find like incredibly weird is that with how many options there are, with how many branching choices can be made here, I'm shocked there is not more than one. There is one instance where a battle determines your route. Like it determines your decision. Like,
and it's dumb.
And God, it's really dumb. But we'll get to that in a second. I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often because it feels like such a natural way to utilize the actual mechanics of the game to further the centralized premise of this, endless like narrative adventure. Like literally making decisions in combat to further the story.
Like it literally just. It would also like espouse it would be more video gamey, right? It would espouse a certain level of difficulty to things. Like one thing that makes the combat so skippable everyone starts skipping as soon as they're allowed to. Like,
Yeah.
I've literally seen people be gung ho about it. Like, I like this combat. I'm going to do it every time it comes up. And then as soon as they start getting ones that they can skip, everyone cracks. Everyone cracks. Because the combat is fun, but like it just runs out of ideas. It runs out of new things to throw at you, and it runs out of like the only real change to the battles usually is just what units you have available. So like, yeah. So right, that would have been one way to express that if the choices were made in combat, and like the different routes resulted in like different combat scenarios that could be more or less engaging or difficult, right? So like that's one way they could have differentiated it, but it's all kind of the same. And the fact that it scales is also part of that. Like, yes, you have a dwindling party in like Slasher, for example, for the battles, but like the game scales accordingly, right? You never have a situation where you have to like defend all 4 sides with like 4 units or whatever. Right, that doesn't happen. It'll scale it down so that you're only fighting on 2 sides or whatever, which is good, but also it adds to the feeling of monotony in combat where like it's all just kind of the same. You're fighting the same bosses in the same order.
Yeah.
The units don't really change. Once you've unlocked everything, which is very easy to do fairly early on, there's not really much to like strive for. There's no reward for like doing bad or worse, or doing bad or doing good. You can like the game doesn't care. It'll assign you a ranking, but even the ranking system is like super like cheesable. That's not even getting into like some of the strat. Like I didn't really even use like a bunch of like the abusable cheese strats that people have for this game, like the Tsubasa spam. Okay, I did. Everyone does the fucking Takumi alt Nozomi heal him combo.
Yeah,
right? Everyone does that. But like the shit I've seen people do with Tsubasa, or the shit you can pull off with like stacking last yells or whatever, is just insane. Like part of the reason people don't engage with the combat in this game after a while is because it just becomes trivially easy if you actually know how it works.
I've literally seen someone use last yell stacking to have Kyoshka solo an entire fight. Clip. It's so fun.
Yes, that clip is so fucking funny, but it's very indicative of the problem, right? There's some kind of fundamental designs with the combat is very fun on the surface, but like not only does it get tedious because it just runs out of ideas way earlier than it runs out of plot, but also it has very abusable mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like if you see 100 Line as just a visual novel, that's fine and based and cool, and I hope you have lots of sex, but like there's kind of what I'm lamenting here is the potential, because I see this game as an easy slam dunk recommendation for like the Persona crowd if that gameplay loop persisted throughout, but it doesn't. Is the thing. It just falls after like your second or third route. It just falls off, right? You're only ever going to do battles that the game doesn't let you skip, which is not a lot of them. It's like maybe 10. Like it's not a lot, and even in those, there's not really like new mechanics or a new shakeup or anything. It's just kind of the same fucking thing, in a different context, right?
Yeah.
Like the most shakeup you're gonna get is, oh, we're fighting Ato this time.
Yeah.
Or like shit like that. So like more could have been done with that, and you're right that like more choices in combat could have been one way also to differentiate it and give routes a sense of like difficulty, or like, you know, like this is just hypothetical, but like imagine if like another way they could have also done this is that like, okay, let's think about Red Storm for a second, the choice to go back to Last Defense Academy, right?
Yeah.
In the way it plays out is that Veshnish just targets Darami, right? What if she didn't though, and like she was on the field and like she could just go after units at random.
Yes.
And like you have to like attack her to stop her from like abducting someone, and like whoever she abducts, that's like a different route. Right?
Oh, that's a really cool idea. Yeah. No, I fucking love that idea.
Yeah. What if you could what if instead of just being this completely binary thing, you arrive so late that she's already abducting someone, and it's like whoever she abducts, and maybe she like is pre-programmed to only go after certain people of what routes they've ridden or whatever, but like you could have so many different possibilities of like she kidnaps Darami and it leads down second scenario, not kidnaps, I mean absorbs, sorry, she absorbs Darami and it leads to second scenario, or like she absorbs like Ima or like someone like or Gaku or something, and like it leads down, or Tsubasa, god forbid, what will they do without Tsubasa?
You know what, honestly, like that's one of the things that kind of grinds me, right? Because like the combat offers up such opportunity for this and does nothing with it. 99.9%.
No, it does one. It does one thing with it, and it sucks, which is the conspiracy split.
Yes, the conspiracy split. Let's talk about that fucking shit for a second.
Okay, so that's the only choice that's determined through combat in this game. to save Gaku or save Kurara.
The problem
I'm
is...
just gonna say, the problem is they're both the exact same difficulty. And also, saving both wouldn't even be hard. It's just the game doesn't let you.
Yes, the game, you are completely able, like, mechanically, to save both of them on the exact same turn. That is possible. You can do it.
Mm-hmm. It's not only possible, it's not even hard.
Yeah, but the game will not let you. That's the thing.
Yeah, as soon as you save one, it just goes straight to that route, yeah.
Yeah, so, it's so dumb.
What if they were like actually like what if they were like different? What if like saving Kurata was harder or something, or maybe saving Gaku was harder because it leads to the truth, right?
Yeah.
And what if it was like super hard to save both of them, but there was like a different route that resulted from you doing that?
Yeah,
right.
This is railroading derogatory.
Right. Like there's so much potential there to interlock these systems, and they just don't. And the one time they try, it's stupid.
Yeah.
And also it leads to conspiracy, which is a placeholder.
Yeah, which another thing we'll get to in a second. Another thing that like kind of, and while we're on the subject of combat, we are not going to get.
I'm so sorry this video is going to be one never-ending string of and another thing before we finish the first thought. It's just that's how it goes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But like while we're on the subject of combat, there are a number of units that are functionally useless outside of extremely specific circumstances. Kako.
Mm-hmm. Please buff Kako.
Please buff Kako.
Like for real this time. Don't like pretend buff her and then give her another, and then like adjust the number so it's not actually a buff. Why are they so afraid of Kako? I don't understand.
I need media vision to understand that having to develop more spring traps just to move Kako around and shoot things at a distance is not good mechanically.
The spring trap might as well just be an ability Kako has.
It might as well, because it's the only reason you ever fucking use it, is to just move her. And occasionally get Takumi to another part of the fucking
to chase down Veshtis, which he keeps fucking teleporting on different fields. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm aware. It is insane to me that Kako has both a debuff after she attacks and after she moves. Just fucking pick one. It's so awkward to play around.
Yeah, it's like, look,
meanwhile we have Tsubasa, our queen who can do nothing wrong, who doesn't even fatigue. Yeah, I get why, because she's driving a car.
She can just drive forever. She can just mow down everybody.
And I get like logically I understand why, because she's driving a car, but like gameplay wise it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and like her and Darmi are like ridiculous at being able to farm voltage. So
well, I mean with Darmi I don't mind her being a voltage battery, because like the very few times I get to use her I'm like, ooh, yay, fun. I forgot this.
Yeah.
But like and also she does get fatigued. She actually has unique mechanics for getting fatigued, which is really cool.
That is also true.
I don't know why they made Darmi one of the most dynamic units and then said you can never use her.
Oh,
it's very sad.
God, I hate it.
It's really funny because even in routes where she gets the most story focus, she doesn't get a lot of gameplay use.
She barely gets any gameplay use. She's not even in most, like, fucking Red Snum. She's not in battle.
Yeah, you don't even get to use her in battle for the entire second half of her route. It's so silly. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense for the story, and it's mostly just an issue of I wish she was alive more, so this wasn't a thing I had to point out. But like, it's just funny that she doesn't get used as a unit, even in the routes where she gets story focused. Because in Retsnam, she becomes incapacitated by like housing the Retsnam, and then in Killing Game, they're trying to set up that red herring, so she can't really be part of the group.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just funny. It's just funny. It wouldn't even be a thing worth pointing out if she wasn't dead so often, but it is, and so it is, and I have to now make fun of that.
Yeah.
That's not a serious complaint, it's just funny. Okay, the fact that she's dead so often is a serious complaint. This hyper-specific gameplay ramification of it is mostly just me making fun of it. Where were we?
God, Jesus Christ. I mean, we are talking about combat and like,
right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna talk about the other fucking third of the game. Free time. There's too much free time and not enough shit to do in it.
Yes, free time is... So here's the thing, like, free time is like a consistent thing across, like, all of... Like this is brought over from Danganronpa, but the problem is, in Danganronpa, like, free time is a very developed and, like, dedicated system that Like,
it fits the scope of the game it's in.
yeah, free time does not fit the scope of 100 line.
It's so weird. Free time, like, they took almost the exact same systems for free time that were in Danganronpa, a game that lasts like 24 in-game days, and applied it to a game with 100 days that you experience about 40 times, and didn't really meaningfully expand it beyond adding the exploration minigame, which is fun. I like it, but like even that's like not enough.
Yeah, because like after a point, I think. Go ahead.
Okay. So there's really only like, aside from just like clicking on random stuff, which you will run out of pretty soon, right? There's only really like 2 things to do in free time, right? Well, once you develop your social skills, right, which doesn't take that long. By the end of like Route 0, you're gonna have like most of that, right? So like you get those micro conversations, which are fun. They were written by Kyohei, of people just around the campus. They're in different spots, and then you level up your social skills. And then once you've done that, there's no reason to talk to them there, and they don't have anything new to say anyway. Yeah. That all repeats throughout routes. And so you do that so you can unlock your combat upgrades, which you get by farming materials, doing the exploration minigame, and you see how this all like loops into each other, right? It's a cool system. It's really cool, actually. Like
yeah.
It's a fun loop. Like as a video game during Route 0, it's actually really engaging. Like this is a good loop. It just runs out of shit long before they run out of story.
Yeah.
Right. So, but the thing is that like that's all free time is for, and then you get materials so you can build gifts, so you can gift people to unlock their bond events. Bond events are another thing I'm going to criticize, because they are way more effort to unlock than Danganronpa's free time events, and yet they're a downgrade. It's very weird. Because instead of actually having Takumi talk to the characters just kind of exposit at you like it's an MTV confession cam.
Yeah, it's not a conversation in the same way that like these sorts of events are in Danganronpa. Because like in Danganronpa, this is a very good point of comparison. In Danganronpa, it is a conversation. It is, a back and forth between the main character, be that Makoto or Hajime or Shuichi. Yeah. And whoever he's talking to. It's like there's genuine back and forth. There's a heart-to-heart happening. There's real dynamics and development happening in real time. The way that it's written in the 100 line, it's just a monologue from the character you are quote unquote speaking to, and then
they're just monologuing at you.
Yeah.
Now I suspect the reason Kodaka wrote them this way is because of variability. Like everyone's relationship with Takumi changes dramatically depending on the route, right? Yeah. So sometimes these conversations might be ill-fitting. You didn't solve that problem though, because I can still do them.
Yes.
Right? And if you don't want me to do them, you can just make them not available to talk to, which you already do.
Yeah.
Right? When everyone hates him in Killing Game, I can't do their bond events because it wouldn't make sense. You already have a solution for this. So why did you write it this way to cover for that when you already had the solution of just not letting us do them? I don't understand.
I don't get it. It's weird.
Like the actual events themselves are fine. They're a bit of a downgrade because again they're just monologues. But like it's weird, and some of them are like really short. Like Takemaru's are like really short. They're like fucking, he'll talk in like 10 lines and then be like, "Thanks for talking to me. Thanks for explaining." And it's like fucking. It's like a weird downgrade for something that's a lot harder to unlock, which is so weird. I like the gameplay loop they have here, but there's just not enough stuff. There's not enough stuff to discover in exploration. There's not enough events to unlock in like hanging out with people. There's not enough around the academy to do. There's the VR missions, but like again, nobody does those because like by the time when you've had your fill of the combat, you're not gonna go do more optional combat, right? So like if you're already skipping story battles, you're not gonna go do the optional VR battles, especially when there's like no reward for doing so.
Yeah.
Right. So like I like the core loop, it just completely falls off. And I think one of the core things I would love for them to do in future updates is just revamp, overhaul, and add more to both the combat and free time sides of the game to sort of make this loop persist throughout the entire experience. Because like I am fine just getting route content. I'm fine just getting new stories. That's fine. Like I'm fine with that. But like I think there's a real missed opportunity to make this more of a tactical RPG, more of a video game people care about for the video game angle of it. right? And draw in that sort of like that Trails crowd or that Persona crowd or whatever. Because I think like this could be such an easy recommendation for them. But like the way it is, it just becomes a pure visual novel after 50 hours, and they've either got to be okay with that or they're not.
Yeah, no, you can deepen these systems, and you can like expand upon this stuff so much more. The foundation is there. It does exist. It's just not enough is done with it for the length that this game goes on for. Mind you, when I played through this game, I was doing it with this dude in fucking BC with me, and we were slowed down significantly by the fact that we were doing like freaking drama club style, like reading shit off.
Yeah,
it took me 230 hours to get through this game.
Yeah,
and that seems to actually be the median. From what I've seen, that seems to actually be about the median. About the median length for a lot of people, actually. And
it's about normal, but that only that's what's skipping a shitload of combat, yeah.
And the thing is, you run out of a lot of this shit about 100 hours in.
I would say even sooner than that, but like
yeah. I'm being generous, but yeah.
Yeah. Like I like most people will start skipping battles as soon as the game lets them, and that's going to be like after like their second route. Like
yeah.
And you could like you don't need like I get what you're saying though. Like you can expand like the game. The Bond events are like weirdly well paced throughout the entire thing. It kind of takes almost the entire game to like get all of them if you're just like if you're also focusing on getting your combat upgrades and stuff like that.
That is true.
Yeah. Like it can actually be spread out through a whole experience. I don't know if that's a good thing because of how like sort of brisk they are. But like, yeah, my main point here is that like there's a missed opportunity to like make the video game aspect of this video game shine and like be a RPG and have this consistent core gameplay loop that is engaging. And one of the things I hope for with future updates is that they overhaul and expand these systems, because there's so much potential here to just have more dynamic free time stuff and more dynamic combat, right? And like feed into this loop. But as it is, it just runs out and then it just becomes a visual novel, which again is fine, but there's missed opportunity there.
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Anyway.
Yeah. We spent about an hour so far talking just about like the mechanical shit we have issues with.
Yeah, stuff structurally and mechanically. Now I guess we can get into story stuff and how there is a range of quality to these routes.
Yes. One of the most interesting things about this game is the amount of narrative variance to it, but however, there does not seem to have been a vetting because of how fast everything had to be written and implemented. There wasn't necessarily a quality vetting system in terms of like making sure things were like up to snuff in terms of
right.
Actual storytelling. Not all routes in this game are created equal, and you learn that very quickly.
Yeah. So, okay. So, foundationally, does this game have 100 endings? Yes.
Yes.
Are they all meaningfully distinct endings?
No.
Mostly.
Mostly.
Mostly. There's some padding. There's some wrong lever dipshit game over endings. Now, admittedly, some of them at least give you like a different context or a unique CG. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on.
Okay.
No. Yes. No. This is annoying and ill-productive for video making. Anyway, now, admittedly, some of them do provide different like narrative context. They're cool. They're cool to see, and a lot of them will give you a unique CG image, which is I for an ending I would consider kind of the bare minimum. Like that's what I would expect, is like just an illustration being like, this is the ending, if only so that we can put it on a fucking tier list and be like, this represents the ending. Do you see? Because it's the image from the ending. The game's mostly pretty good about that. Like the fucking like Mexican standoff and mystery where you like choose who the culprit is, Moko, Nozomi, or yourself. Like all of those have different CGs, and it's like, okay,
yeah,
like
that's
everyone
fun.
reacts
That's
different. Everyone reacts differently, and there's like a different CG, and it's like, okay. Even if one of them is just Nozomi tripping into the entire dying flames, which is just so funny. You're the killer. Oh my god, you're right. I could be the killer. I have to kill myself.
No!
She just walks into the wall and it's like, no, what have I done? Okay, maybe it's a little hokey, but like, you know what I mean, like in a content thing.
Yeah.
But then
yeah.
there's shit like the fucking seven times a conspiracy. You just pick a wrong choice and get tased, and it's like, okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. It's not Nigo. It's
Goto.
Yeah. Just like Goto giving you a choice, and Takumi's like, no, I think I'm gonna do something else, and then it's just like, Taze, you shouldn't have done
Wrong.
that. Did you think I would let you get away from that?
You have deviated from the plan. The most insulting one, there's literally one where they don't even say anything. It's just ellipses. You make the wrong choice, zap, ellipses, game over. That is the laziest ending in the entire game.
Yeah.
Now, granted, this problem is a little overstated. I don't think it's that. I don't think there's as much of that as people like to say. But it's definitely present. There's definitely some cheating. They cheated to get to that those 100 endings. There's definitely some padding, some sort of like wrong lever dipshit game over endings. Not the majority, but like it's definitely present, right?
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the routes, like we said, there is a gradient of quality, which is to be expected from something that is described as anthological. You know. They're not all gonna be on the same level, obviously. However, some of them, some of this is a matter of taste, right? Like, we think slasher's pretty fucking good. Some people don't like slasher, even if they experienced it like quote unquote correctly. That's fine. Whatever. That's gonna happen.
You are allowed to have your own opinion, even if we don't agree and think it's wrong.
Yeah. For now. Watch out. But there's definitely a range.
We know where you post fan art.
Discord is giving us your personal information as we speak. But as we said, there is a range of quality to them, and some of them are either really underridden or bad. Just bad.
Bad, yes.
Just actually bad. Now, there's only one route I think is like actually horrible.
Yeah.
And we all know that.
We all know that one is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a couple that we have like major issues with that just prevent them from.
We talked about some of that in the discussion video, but we could reiterate a little bit of that here. I think.
Yep.
Like as we expressed, Box of Blessings is a fucking embarrassment and should not have been in the game in its present form.
It's really funny that ever since we made our discussion video, we've actually like thought about Box of Blessings more and found even more problems with it.
It's crazy. Every time it's like a pristine painting. Every time you look at it, you notice new details.
Yeah,
and a new burning hatred for humanity.
Yeah. So for the list so far, we have Kadachi can't count.
No, that's new. We didn't know that at the time.
Yes,
we didn't realize that.
Yeah. So there's a point where Takumi is like, let's see. There's these 5 people on one team, and these 5 people on another team, and the other team has the twins. So I'm gonna go with the smaller team, which has the twins on it. It's like, are you counting the twins as one person?
Yeah. He literally looks at 2 teams of the same size and goes, "I'll fill out the smaller team." No, first of all, they're the same size, and second of all, if you join them, they're no longer the smaller team. What are you talking about?
That doesn't make any
Why can't you count? Like,
I fucking love the way you put that. Brother dearest, I think he's counting us as one person again.
But like, no, like, Kadachi cannot count, doesn't understand how branching timelines work. For whatever reason, depending on how your pep talk with Shoma goes on the roof, Veshness either decides to eat Ato or doesn't.
Yeah.
That's not how ontology works.
Not only that, she either eats Ato or teams up with him.
Yeah. Those are pretty diametrically opposed things to be the result of you talking to Shoma on the roof, a conversation neither party was privy to.
Yeah.
Why? Like, he doesn't understand how timelines work, right? In some branches of his stupid dog shit route, the key to the fucking where the box of calamity or bless, I don't remember which one it is housed, is like in the caves. The key is either on the ground or in a random hot spring that just exists sometimes.
Yeah,
but not all the time.
Yeah, and there's also
the tunnels the tunnels that lead to different places depending on the branch, which is not how that works.
Yes, Term Tommy's house literally changes location depending on what branch you're on. And there's also like this fucking like
the trap is different.
Yeah,
right?
The fucking Indiana Jones trap is different,
right?
Despite being tripped in the exact same way.
Yeah. I want to point out it's this, like, canonically, it's the same trap. It's the same thing that springs this trap, but in one path, it's Gaku being chased by an Indiana Jones boulder, and in the other path, it's Nozomi getting pinned to the wall by arrows in a very suggestive way. I like that CG a lot, actually. But like, that's not the point.
Mind you, that's another Indiana Jones reference. Those are both references to Raiders of the Lost Ark.
It's fucking Schrodinger's Indiana Jones reference. It's the same mechanism that triggers two entirely different traps depending on who springs it in what timeline.
Yeah, it's just
stupid.
Oh, it's really awful. There's also a point.
No.
There's also a point where Hiroko is talking and she responds to herself.
Yes, she literally poses a question and then answers it like she's a different person talking.
And mind you, that's not something exclusive to the localization. This happens in the Japanese version too.
I don't even want to know what level of fuck the production of this route was that this happened. Like, there's so much we could and have ranted about Box of Blessings for ages, from its flattening everyone into a fucking NPC to, you know, its fucking abysmal pacing to its like flagrant copy paste literal. You would think a game with 100 endings would have a lot of copy paste in it. It really doesn't, honestly. Box of Blessings is the exception, where entire sections will just be copy-pasted with the names switched out.
Yeah, Box of Blessings is literally the worst-case scenario of what you think the rest of the 100 line is going to be.
And the fact that someone could stumble on it in their first playthrough is absurd to me. I hate that so much.
God.
It's the only part of this... Yeah, we could talk about the actual writing failures, the failure to set up character arcs, the failure to pay off character arcs, the fucking abysmal tone shift that is ending 27. Like, we could go on and on about that, and we have, and we probably will in the future whenever it's brought up because we're traumatized. But like, the point I'm trying to make here is that this is the only route in the game that I feel they should be actively ashamed by. Yes. Like, it's really actually bad. Like, it's not even a matter of taste. It's bad and everyone knows it. Even people who go, oh, I don't know, it's not so bad. They never put it any higher than like C tier. It's always in like their bottom 3 routes every single time. Everyone knows it's bad. Everyone knows this is like the worst route. This is one or two of the worst routes in the game, right? Everyone knows that. The only thing we disagree on whether it's a 5 or a 2.
Yeah. We think it's a 2.
Yeah.
It's bad in so many ways you don't realize off the bat. Like, the more you think about it, the deeper the rabbit hole goes on that.
I don't even know how to fix it, because even conceptually, there's things that are just wrong with it.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest. You need to either completely rewrite this fucking thing from the ground up and just make it a completely different structure, or just remove it.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only things I can think of to fix Box of Blessings. Either make it completely different or remove it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fixing what's here.
It's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Other routes have problems. This entire route is just a problem that it exists.
Yeah.
Right.
That being said, there are other less good routes here. We've talked about conspiracy pretty thoroughly at this point, so I don't think that needs to be expounded upon. Let's talk about Overlord.
The only thing I'll say about conspiracy is that, like, I feel like it's a placeholder. I feel like they had a grander idea for it and they just didn't have time, and this is just what they whipped up because they already reserved 8 ending slots for it. So here we go. Yeah. Right. So like, I do think it's indicative of conspiracy. I don't think is the absolute worst. It's not a good route because it's barely a route. It's 45 minutes of fucking lever pulling. Yeah. But like, I see the potential there. I think there's definitely an idea they wanted to explore with that. It's just they probably just didn't have the fucking time. So this is what we got. Yeah. So in that regard, it is indicative of the game's greater flaw of being kind of rushed. But yeah, let's talk about other less good but not Box of Blessings tier dog shit routes.
Yeah. One of the ones that like immediately springs to mind that both of us have kind of soured on more and more as time has gone on is Ava route.
Yeah,
because like
we
going
were
in
mean enough the first time, and we were pretty mean.
Yeah, like the thing is, Ava route is not painful to sit through. That's the whole thing, right?
It's nowhere near. That's the other problem. Box of Blessing. It's too fucking long.
It's too fucking long. Box of Blessing is just a slog. A lot of these other routes that are like, you know, below the par of this game are at the very least short, or at the very least they're not painful to sit through. They have elements that are, you know, at the very least enjoyable to them. Ava route, the biggest issue I have with Ava route is really just Takumi. This is Takumi at his worst. Let's be real here.
This is the most bumcore Takumi ever gets.
Yeah, a lot of people like to make fun of Takumi for, you know, kind of being this non-committal, like, bum character. He really isn't in most routes, honestly. The whole point is that, like, after Route Zero, he realizes his complacency, and then, you know, he's kind of a
most of the time he's kind of a fake I don't give a fucker, right?
Yeah. In Ava, he is an actual I don't give a fucker, because he literally Ava's brainwashing comes undone. He talks to her for a couple of days, realizes, oh shit, I think I might love you, then fucking elopes with her for 3 weeks, bangs her in a tent, and then comes back right before day 100 to see all of his friends dead.
Almost all of them.
Almost all of his friends dead.
Crazy high body count in that route for some reason.
Yeah, and the only recognition of this we have is Commune being there on the sideline. I love the joke that we keep making of, haha, Takumi, you are banging my mother. That's the route. Right?
That's literally her role in this route. That's all she says.
We love Commune.
It's literally her role in the Ava route is literally just go, oh no, there's only one bed.
Oh no, there's only one bed. Whatever shall I do? Oh no,
that won't be a problem for you two. Wink.
Wink. It's like she's literally just playing Cupid for her mother.
Yeah, I'm like, that could be fun, but like it's literally all there is.
Yeah. And for a character who is literally
I am not exaggerating. Okay, the first half is fine, the conversations in the cage or whatever, they're fine. Right. I am not exaggerating that the rest of the route is literally, and this is barely even reductive, is Takumi eloping with the prisoner, abandoning his friends, fucking her in a tent for 3 weeks, and then either half-assedly going back at the last possible minute when most of his friends are already dead, putting up the worst fight against Veshnas he does in any route, and then making Ava do all the work.
Yeah.
Admittedly leading to that cool scene of Ava and Veshnas fight.
Yes,
that admittedly is pretty cool.
I do like that scene. Like, there is some really fun character banter between Veshnas and Ava there you don't get in any other route, and I do like it quite a bit.
Yeah, that is cool. And then she dies anyway. Right. Yeah. Or they don't go back, and you get the most bumcore ending, where they just let Veshnas win, all of the SDU die, and then they just abandon Commune too and have a different kid.
Yeah, I fucking love that. I fucking love the ending where it's like, oh no, I have to reunite with Commune. She's my world. She's everything that I ever care about. I don't want to leave her alone. And then you leave her alone anyway.
And then we lost. It's like, Veshnas took over. Everything's fucked. We lost contact with Commune. Oh well. Want to have another one?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
He just knocks Ava up, and they freaking wander the Fist of the North Star ass landscape of like freaking post-apocalypse future.
Who are you? Hashtag not my Takumi.
This isn't Takumi. This is so not the character that he is written to be in other routes. It's weird. It is very out of character for him. He's too weak. He's not committal to his friends like he is everywhere else. And
this late in second scenario, Jesus fuck.
Right. That's the worst part of it. Like, maybe if it was earlier on, it might make more sense. But this is like in the last 25 days of second scenario, and like by that point, it doesn't make any fucking sense for him to do this.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh god.
Frankly, we like to engage in some Ava route slander because we don't think the route is hated enough, honestly. Most people don't love it, but like, people think it's better than like conspiracy, think it's better than like mystery. I'm like, fuck off. No, this shit ass.
Yeah,
it's not Box of Blessings ass. It's tolerable.
Yeah.
You can even convince yourself you like it for a little bit, but like, oh.
I think this might be the only route with actual character assassination.
There's some arguable cases here or there, but like for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, like that's the thing that really gets me about Overlord is just that it's the worst Takumi by far, and
Yeah.
it really has a knock-on effect with the character.
Yeah, no, I mean this character assassination elsewhere. I fucking hate Box of Blessings, Kako. I've made that clear.
Oh god, yeah. God, I'm sorry. God, that route is so dog shit. I keep forgetting Kako is the.
Everyone loves to bring up Shoma and Box of Calamity and Mystery.
Yeah.
Somehow going from a guy who couldn't throw a punch without breaking out in hives to committing murder to protect a dog. A fake dog, mind you.
A fake dog, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to protect Shoma Jr.
Or Leo Jr.
Leo Jr., yeah.
Yeah. The weirdest split for me is Mystery, because it's literally one fucking line over. Because in Killing Game, he literally does not participate in the first round of the Invader Hunt and just resigns himself to die. And then in Killing Game, he like... Sorry, that's in Killing Game. And then in Mystery, he like convinces Kako to drink poison to fucking save his own life. I'm like, what?
These are two completely different characters at that point.
Yeah, it's like, and they're like one branch apart. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what changed in between these two routes with one branching path that causes him to act just completely differently? Like,
I have a conspiracy theory. I think I've told you this before. I have a conspiracy theory that they knew Uchikoshi or Rensudo or whoever the fuck, probably Uchikoshi more so. I think, especially for Mystery, where like the whole thing is is murder mysteries. So like people are gonna have to be like culpable for murder, and for once we can't blame it on the rape jellyfish, right? Well, I mean we can kind of blame it on the rape jellyfish, but like very indirectly. It's not like they're not directly controlled by the rape jellyfish. This one time, right? So like I think he picked Shoma to be a murderer in Mystery because he knew Shoma wasn't going to be very popular. So like if Shoma's a little bit mischaracterized, it's like, well, that's kind of weird, but like whatever, right? If it was a character people actually liked more, that would be more contentious.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's why he picked Shoma, and that's why he picked Ava. And the reason he picked Ava was because she's an enemy, right? Like if she kills the SDU, it's like fair's fair, right? You know?
Yeah.
Because like we're not going to begrudge her too much for that, even if she is weirdly hostile in Mystery, right? Because like they're enemies, like they took a prisoner, it's like whatever, it's fair's fair. Right, and if Shoma does it, it's like, well, it's he doesn't have the biggest fan base. Like, who's gonna be that upset about it? Like, transparently, I genuinely think that was his thought process behind the whopping 2 cases in Mystery, which is the other thing. Mystery Route only has 2 actual mystery cases, and then it becomes like a weird gap filling thing for SF.
Yeah,
I actually like Mystery, but like, man, if there isn't a lot of missed potential there. Especially the missed potential to make it a proper emo route. I think the moment that always gets me is when fucking Kakoji takes off Kurata's masks and reveals herself, and then Ima just has like a fucking anime pratfall and faints. And I'm like, okay,
he's just like, oh, I've gotten a case of the vapors.
Sedaris is alive! Oh! And then he just fucking faints like a cartoon character. And I'm like, okay, first of all, that's really funny. That is really funny, admittedly, but also, you've given up. That's you writing a subplot and then going, I don't know how to fucking fit this in. I give up.
Yeah.
I've rarely seen a case of a writer just throwing their hands in the air and going, I know I was building up this whole thing, but then, I give up.
It's remarkably lazy, which is just weird.
Gonna bring up that cut CG again. There was definitely something there originally. Like he definitely had some kind of plan for Ima and Kako and Kakoji and like something to do with them. And it got far enough along that there was a scrapped CG in the files of it. It was just cut from the game, and I don't know why. Maybe it was a logistical issue. Maybe it just didn't fit the timeline right. Things didn't line up. Again, when you're dealing with the GI arc, like you have all these routes that have to like line up exactly timeline wise. So maybe it just didn't work out. Maybe it was cut for pacing reasons. Maybe he didn't like how it turned out. I don't know, but it is a shame.
Yeah.
And it's like a major thing people hold against Mystery. What is there for Ima is actually pretty good, and then it just stops. And that's really the main problem. Especially as a counterbalance to how he acts in Box of Calamity. Like, between what he does in Box of Calamity and what he does in Mystery, there's almost like enough for like a route there worth of character exploration. But it just doesn't like connect. It doesn't like
doesn't-
it just stops.
Yeah.
In both cases, once Ema is dealt with, it just stops, and that's a shame.
Yeah. It sucks because, like, again, there is a lot there. There's just not enough done with it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's also a recurring issue. Where like sometimes there's just some routes just have missed potential. Either due to the structure of the game or just didn't have time to flesh out all the ideas they wanted to. Right. I think we've made the joke before. I don't know if this would improve it in any way, but we've made the joke before where like it's fucking weird that Kyoshika is dead for the Dragon Ball route. It's
yes.
weird.
Yes. At the very least, I feel like there could have been some. If the rest of the character writing in that route were so god awful, she might have some fun, like, you know.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like,
humor.
at this point, I'm just like, I'm almost thankful. I'm like, oh, thank God, Kyoshika was spared from.
Yeah, she was spared from it.
Uh-huh. But like conceptually, it is weird, right? I have a somewhat similar. It's nowhere near as bad, but I have like a somewhat, because it's nowhere near as bad a route. But I have a somewhat a similar relationship, and this is also just. It's one of those things where like if she was just in more of the game, I wouldn't be bothered by this. But the fact that Darumi dies so early in Slasher is also weird to me, because you think you might want to use her for that, like, right?
Yeah,
as like a juxtaposition. Like I feel like and I feel like I know why. And when I say that, I'm talking about the killer route, not the zombie route. The zombie route, like I get it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, wait, no, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm talking about. I had a mixed up. So I'm talking about zombie, right? Because that's the one where they bring the thing. Yeah, right. Okay, so I think the reason Darumi is like second to die after like Yugambu's corpse comes back, and she's like, "Watch." It's like, "I'll handle this. Watch this," and then she immediately dies. Right. And I think the reason they got rid of Darumi so early in Slasher Zombie was because she would have had a very different reaction than Gaku, and they wanted to have that like that handicap to preserve drama until like near the end, because Gaku's going to stubbornly keep hold of that secret, right? That they brought in the Gi, right?
Yeah.
Once he actually, for a while he doesn't even know, but once he slowly pieces it together in the background, and then like he just keeps that information to himself. Darumi probably wouldn't do that, and that would really fuck with the pacing. I think that's the reason. And like narratively, I understand this decision. For one of these like six or seven routes where Darumi is actually alive, a bit of a shame.
Agreed.
Especially since like there's stuff you could do there where like does her facade crack when like that situation is actually happening? She doesn't live long enough in either branch to really know. For sure.
I really, really want there to be at least one route. Maybe I hope they can do this in a future route, but I really want there to be one route where her facade, the only person she really allows the facade to drop around is Takumi and Retsuna, right?
It's implied she lets it loose a little bit around Hideko, but like, yeah, it's mostly Retsuna.
I really want there to be a route where she is like, I really want there to be a route where she is comfortable enough around the SU at large to actually just be herself more often. I want there to be a route where there is that development, where she has that kind of like just closer relationship with everyone at large.
I don't know if she would ever get as intimate as she does with Takumi and Retsuna.
Oh yeah,
it's like a one-on-one thing, but like I think there's definitely potential for her to like crack the facade a little bit more than we see in the game. We see like slight hints of that in like SF with her interactions with like Kurata, which I really like actually.
Those are fun. Those are very fun.
Yeah, that could happen more. My thing is, I like, particularly in the context of like being in a slasher scenario, right? There could have been a lot more fun in like exploring how she reacts to that, but unfortunately she dies too early in both to really see that. It's stuff like that. Like it's stuff like that, and stuff like why isn't like Kurata doing shit that Tsubasa is doing for her? Like little instances of that.
Yeah.
Missed opportunities hither or whither, you know.
Yeah.
I had a train of thought, and we got derailed again.
Sorry.
No, it's probably my fault. It's probably my fault.
It happens frequently. It's the autism.
Like I said, Yeah, no, like I said, like part of the problem is a lot of these things we're complaining about are like super interconnected. Like it's all kind of one giant web of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like we're naturally gonna jump between topic to 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 persona. Social links. It's a nice High M Daisy reference for all y'all out there. Right. Right. Like I said, like route to route, we already ranted about a lot of that in our discussion video. Another one I'll bring up just as a, because I'm the focus of this video is like more broad overarching flaws. I want to bring up a route that is also more emblematic of just the general development of the game and how rushed it ended up being, and that's Rebellion.
Oh,
Rebellion
God, yeah.
needed to be a bigger deal than it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go off for the most part on this one, because this is most of these issues are ones that you figured out, not me. So
right. There's a couple of problems with Rebellion. The main problem with Rebellion is that it's too easy. It's too narratively easy to go against humanity and side with the Futurans, and things just work out too conveniently. Like,
yes.
Ato doesn't really complete his second scenario development. He just kind of decides to not be a problem because they have the same enemy or whatever, which it feels like his stuff is more complicated than that, as we see later in second scenario.
Yeah.
Like, that shouldn't really be the end of it, but like, because they just want to wrap this up, it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, the
Commune's role is... Go on.
The thing is, we'll talk about Commune in a second, but like, the thing you have to understand when writing in general is that you have to allow for a certain level of narrative convenience in order for things to work, especially in, the context of a game like this, where narrative causality is, the entire bread and butter of it. But Rebellion takes it to an extreme that feels far too... The convenience begins to encroach on the actual drama and the actual development of the story. And that's when the convenience starts to become a genuine
every
flaw.
creative decision made in Rebellion serves to eliminate drama, not add it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about constantly introducing things that like smooth things over and like gets you to that ending faster.
Yeah.
I like Commune. I like Commune's role in Rebellion even. I think she's a cool character, but she's also a super convenient crutch because she is the world's most rational 12-year-old, right?
Yes.
Who, like, is willing to forgive and forget just because it's the logical thing to do for people. And I can't say she's wrong. It is rational, but it's also narratively unsatisfying. And I think Rebellion would have been infinitely improved if there was just one other you only needed like one other guy in the Rebellion. And you've seen this trope in a million fucking like Resistance stories or whatever of like the guy who's not convinced by the newcomers immediately and goes, I don't know, I don't think we can trust these guys, and then they have to like prove themselves to him, right? Like, we just needed like that guy.
Yeah,
right.
There just needs to be
the problem with Rebellion.
Go on. There isn't enough narrative friction.
Yeah, and a lot of that is because they just didn't the non-sovereign army Futuran presence is just so underdeveloped. It barely exists, right? We have like faceless NPC models, right? There is no Rebellion. There's Commune and her off-screen peanut gallery of supposed supporters, right?
Yeah,
like,
Commune, whenever she talks about, the Rebellion and all my supporters are here to help you, she feels like fucking Usopp being like, I have over 3,000 followers.
Yeah. Right. And it's because there's like developmentally, because that would only be relevant for like Rebellion and like maybe Ava Rad if we rewrote it to be good, right? Like, because it was such not a concern and the game was rushed to completion like this, that aspect of the game is so underdeveloped. There's not really a faction there. Like, we didn't develop one.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, we didn't even get like maskless models for the commanders. I think we're gonna make more Futurans for this like one plot line.
Lol.
Right. Right. So like, Commune becomes a crutch in that regard, and it makes it way too fucking easy because the opposition or the friction that the SDU should face as invaders turning sides is just not there. because we didn't develop them. There's no characters there. There's no like, there's almost nothing, right? Again, it's just mostly off-screen, like faceless NPC models, right? So that it all falls to Commune, and Commune has to be put in this super rational position to allow them to do this. So there's just no friction. The only bit of friction in this entire route is the ending choice to save either Commune or Nozomi, which is a good choice. I like it. I like it. It's a nice narrative counterweight, but like they're putting all of that on Nozomi's debt. Like the only thing that like literally like the only thing that makes ending 6 a potentially not as preferable as like the second scenario ending or reset or whatever is that Nozomi dies, right? Like they're putting all of the narrative weight on that.
Yeah.
And even if you choose to save Nozomi and Commune dies, they still can't quite bring themselves to like make it a lasting consequence. He's just like, well, we never stop trying. You know, we'll get there eventually. Which like fair, but like also again, we're just making it so easy.
Yeah,
right?
just give us something more substantial in terms of like, you know.
Right. Even the way that split happens is odd. I do want to shout out one of the best Seirei scenes in the game when he tells them to strike them down. Probably my favorite part of Rebellion.
Yes.
Not a great thing that Rebellion peaks in the first 30 seconds. That's a great scene for him. That's a great scene for Seirei. But even the choice itself is weird because everyone is like split and doesn't know what to do. But like as soon as Takumi just says we're doing this, everyone is like, yeah, I mean I was leaning that way anyway, honestly.
He's
like,
well,
you weren't. If I make the other choice, you're gonna if I make the other choice right now, you're gonna tell me you were thinking that way. And that's not like the only time that happens, but for such a big monumental decision as to whether to betray the human race, there should be more weight to that. There should be more tension and drama and like intrigue to that, and there just isn't. Every choice Rebellion makes is just to streamline you to an ending.
A lot of people really like Rebellion because it is the quote unquote like cleanest de facto quote unquote good ending.
It's the do the right thing ending.
It's the do the right thing ending. The problem is, doing the right thing doesn't require any actual like hard decisions, and it doesn't feel terribly rewarding by the end of it, for us at least.
Right. It's a good like. I'm glad the choice is there. Like I think Rebellion is a route that should absolutely exist.
Absolutely.
Right. It's just the way they did it. The concept necessitated development resources that they were not able to provide for it.
Yeah. And
it really weakens the route overall. I don't hate it as much as some people, but like it's very middling. Because unfortunately, yeah, it's a victim of the game being kind of rushed, right?
Yeah. Because like again,
and that's
a lot of people. I don't know how many people know this, but like the vast majority of these routes were written and implemented into the game within the span of a year. Mm-hmm. So
yes, most of when Extreme Despair ended and they started this project, which carried over, which is not the same project. I want to make that clear. Karaka said it is not the same project, but it did carry over a lot of its DNA. A lot of the same ideas were carried over into what would become the 100 line. Most of the 100 lines development was spent on Route 0 and second scenario and all the related systems and like assets and shit like that were needed for that. And then all of the other 99 endings supposedly were written and implemented all throughout 2024.
Yeah.
So, which is insanely impressive, but you can see when you really analyze the package as a whole, you can see the cracks. There are routes that feel like placeholders. There are routes that are criminally suffering from not having the development necessitated by their premise. There are things that feel cut, missed opportunities. There's focus that is very lopsided and overlaps. You have characters that are not in the game very much, and you have characters that are in the game way too much but don't do anything, right? So like that's what the focus as an overall package, while most of the content is good to great, it's very lopsided. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they did 99 endings in a year with while they were rapidly running out of money. And that's commendable that they kept to that scope and they kept to that focus. And for the most part, it pays off. But the game definitely has some weak points, both structurally and content-wise, because of the fact that they were really rushing to make this 100 ending game a reality before they went bankrupt.
Yeah, I will say it is a fucking miracle upon miracles that this game is as cohesive as it is, and that there are as few issues that we have with it as we have. But there are still problems, and a lot of this, and like we're talking about it now. But like there are some inherent issues that resulted from that, and a lot of that, some of it is mechanical, a lot of it is narrative, a
lot of it is structural.
Yeah.
Some of it is even philosophical. Like, I think the writers probably should have planned a little bit more in conjunction with one another. I'm not saying they need to step on each other's toes. I'm not saying they need to dictate each other's creative decisions. But I feel like a little, like, just some broad, like, sort of, hey, what you doing over there?
Yeah, at the very least...
would have gone a long way.
Yeah, at the very least, I feel like they should have been sharing notes about what they were doing so that there could have been a little bit more, like, certain writers could have, like, had a little bit more variance.
Even just in broad strokes, right? Just so someone could go, Tsubasa's very important is significant to a lot of these routes. Maybe I don't need her. Maybe I can have Kurata do something else, right? Or, like, okay, this is looking a little lopsided. Maybe we need more routes on the Kileto side of the chart, or whatever. Or at least, like, one other thing, right? Just stuff like that, where it's like, it could make it feel a little bit more even. Now, obviously, that the general issue of, like, focus and, like, appeal and, like, just, like, stuff like that can be solved through just adding more stuff, obviously.
Yeah. How
they structurally plan to do that, we don't know yet. I have my theories. I made a whole Reddit post about it. But, like, obviously that is something they can address. But, like, all we can do is judge the game as it exists right now, and the game as it exists right now is really good, but it is kind of fragmented, and it has these structural problems, and the content has a range to it, and it's all, most of it is good, some of it is fantastic, some of it is kind of bad. And the focus in terms of, like, not only just character focus, but also, like, world building focused, and, like, just, like, what the stories focus on is very lopsided in certain directions. And mechanically, as a gameplay systems, the gameplay kind of can't bear the weight. It wasn't developed enough to bear the weight of the amount of story, because they probably had all they had for the Route 0 second scenario portion of the game, and then they did all these routes, and they were so focused on making so many routes and endings that, like, the systems underneath it all couldn't really evolve meaningfully to support that content, because they were just they had to focus on just getting the routes done. Because they were gonna, like, collapse as a company if they didn't.
Right. The game had to be released. They couldn't keep putting it off.
These things are understandable, but still, critiquable, right? And some of it can be fixed. Some of it is always going to be a little bit, like, I think some of it is always going to be kind of a nagging problem that they might have to deal with in the future. A lot of it can be fixed just by adding more or overhauling systems or whatever. To what extent they're going to do that, we don't know yet. I hope we hear things at the upcoming Anniversary Class Festival, but who knows?
I hope so too.
But yeah, my mouth is really dry. That's the roast of the 100 line, I think. Obviously, there's a lot of little things we could complain about, but that's most of the big picture stuff. And again, we love the game, but we just wanted to consolidate about the problems we think it has.
I think it says a lot that our broad 100 line discussion video was 4 hours, and this hasn't even cracked 2. So,
I mean, I could keep going. I just feel like we hit all the major notes.
We pretty much did, yeah. And, like, I think...
Yeah, and obviously, and there was more glazing I could have done in that fucking, like, even when we released that discussion video, I was like, we talked about this game for 4 hours, and I feel like I barely said anything.
Yeah.
Because there's so many little and medium-sized things I could have praised that just didn't fit into a broad... Like, if we did, like, a video per, like, route or whatever, I would have so much more to talk about. And maybe for the DLC we'll do that. I don't know.
Maybe.
Tell us if you want that, because I will do that.
Yes,
I will do that if people will listen. But, like, yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, we love 100 line. It's just, there are flaws, there are issues, and there are stumbling points, pain points with what is in the game currently. Some of it can be fixed with DLC. Other stuff is going to be there till the end of time, and a lot of that is just down to the routes being
if they never like alter or replace existing content, then like Box of Blessings is always going to be here to be a trap for new players to stumble into and go, that was awful, right? And that's just a black stain on the game we have to live with forever.
Yeah. Hopefully, but hopefully we can just expand the tapestry so the stain doesn't seem nearly as noticeable.
Yeah. Once we have like 1,000 endings, the chances of landing on Box of Blessings off the offset become very, very unlikely. We can never get rid of this cancer, but we can make it less and less likely for you to stumble upon it.
Yes, this is why we need more routes, so that the likelihood of stumbling upon Box of Blessings is lessened.
Yeah, and I really hope that they look at the response to the base game, and to some extent I think Karaka has implied this when he talks about DLC content. One of the things he does talk about things like they want to expand on characters they felt didn't get their dues. He usually talks about Kako in that regard.
Yep.
Or like world building elements that they want to expand on, like the commanders or like the artificial satellite and whatnot. Like I think he's broadly aware of that, and obviously they probably have their own ideas that we haven't even considered, But like, it's an exciting thing because they get to look at the response to the base game and everything it contained and go, what can we improve and what can we add to this that like addresses those like gaps, because I think they're very aware the game as it exists now has gaps that could be filled. Although I do want to push back on the idea of like, so I really want to push back on the idea. People always bring up like X character needs a route, Y character needs a route, but I think like the 100 line has a very smart approach to that, where like it's more scenario based than explicitly like even though we call Retsnam Darami's route, it's a lot more than that. There's a lot more going on than that, and like I don't think it should like define her character, right? In like a fucking like a normal visual novel sense, right? I think they picked a smarter approach going with these scenario-based approaches where like characters can like slip in and out of importance or significance or how we explore them in different ways, right? So we don't get saddled with like a solved character, right? That's the thing I want to avoid, and I think what I would like them to continue avoiding in DLC is just like, if you're going to add like a Kaka route, it can't just be the Kaka route, right? Yeah. It's got to be a story that is like, it has to be a good route story that involves and explores Kako, but like not so definitively that you can't do more with that. I think that's the mindset I want them to keep having in the future. But a lot of fan discussion just kind of goes into this very traditional visual novel way of doing things, of like saying X needs a route, Y needs a route, or whatever. And it's like I don't like that. I think they shouldn't go into new routes with the explicit purpose of making it X characters time to shine or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like it should be. I feel like it should be less X needs a route and more. I hope that there are more routes in the future where X is able to actually have more development, have more to do, or they're able to drive the plot in more personal, in more affecting ways for themselves personally. I feel like that's a better way to. I feel like that's a better way to frame it.
Yeah. Or in Darami's case, to just exist.
Just exist. Jesus Christ. Just give me more Darami. My beloved. Again, I brought this up in the last video, but I need to reiterate it again. It should not be a thing where I am literally asking for less of my favorite character. I love Tsubasa. She's in too much of this fucking game.
I love Tsubasa too, but like it gets to a point where like if the DLC has her like die on day 10 or whatever, I'm just like, you know what, fair's fair. I don't want that to happen, but fair's fair.
Yeah, if that happens, I will be sad, but at the same time, I'm going to be like, okay.
Yeah, I get it. She had her turn.
It was time.
I don't necessarily think killing characters off on day 9 is a good thing generally to going forward anyway. Yeah. But like I'm just saying, if it happens to Tsubasa, I'll be like, fair's fair.
Yeah.
I'm just so curious to see, even just structurally, how they plan to support this game going forward, because that's the part they haven't really talked about much. They've thrown out route concepts and ideas of things they might want to explore, things they may be writing or whatever, but like we haven't really gotten key information on like literally ontologically how this content will happen, which is the thing that I think keeps a lot of people up at night. At least me. I'm weird.
Yeah.
I can't explain my problems to a caveman. It's not possible.
It's not possible. It's just out. Yep.
I try to tell cavemen about the 100 line. They're like, that's a lot. That's too many lines. I can't keep track of that many lines. I'm like, okay, okay. Why don't you go back to the campfire, develop your hippocampus? You're not ready for this. Okay. Eat your meat off the bone. Or on the bone.
This is the fucking shit that would make a Victorian child explode.
This is the Dorito that blows the peasant's mind. Anyway, so yes, that was our big grievance airing session. Hopefully next time we talk about the 100 line, it'll be for neutral to positive reasons.
Hopefully, yes.
Although it's constructive. You could feel the love coming off of even our complaints here.
No, yeah. Again, so, we fucking love it. We just want it to be improved. Want it to be more better.
Yeah, I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the note I want to go out on. Thanks for listening. While I'm here, I'm gonna pimp it while I'm here. Check out my post ending 41 fig, all according to the Overlord's will, on AO3. I'll probably link it in the description just because I'm a shill. I'm a shill for myself.
Hey man, when you got shit, you might as well just pimp it out there.
I'm just saying, everyone who's read it seems to like it. You might like it too.
I like it. Other people like it.
Mm-hmm. Rave reviews.
Indeed.
So yeah, all according to the Overlord's will. Check it out if you want. And we'll be back to talk about something else. Or this again. I don't know. We'll be back. Zeke freak out. Ciao ciao for now.